Have you ever felt like you just don't quite fit in? Well, today we're diving into a simple but really profound story from a place called the Garden of Welcome, and it asks a huge question about what it really means to be different. This is a story about community, about conformity, and about one very, very peculiar squirrel named Bert.
And that one word, different, that's everything. It's the key to this whole story. You see, in a world where every other squirrel played by the same set of rules, Bert was, well, he was an outlier. But what did being different actually look like for a squirrel? Let's get into it.
All right, so to really get Bert, you first have to understand the world he was living in. The Garden of Welcome was, bustling with squirrels. But as you're about to see, there were basically two ways to live your life there.
Wow. Okay, this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got your model citizens. They're social, they're hardworking, they look the part. And then you've got Bert. He's a total loner, his strategy for acorns is pure chaos, and he doesn't even have that classic furry and cute thing going on. He is an outsider in literally every sense of the word.
So think about your average squirrel in this garden. Their whole life is, well, it's pretty structured. Everything they did, from playing together to gathering nuts, was all part of this big collective push toward one single goal, surviving the winter. It was like a well-oiled machine.
And then there's Bert. He's just operating on a totally different frequency. His movements had no clear reason. He'd walk forward, then backward, climb a tree for no reason at all. He wasn't even seen as furry or cute like the others. It's almost like he was living in his own little world, playing by a completely different set of rules.
Now, here's the part that I find really fascinating. The other squirrels, they totally made fun of him. But Bert, he was completely unfazed. This isn't some sad story about an outcast who's just desperate to be accepted. He seems genuinely indifferent to what anybody else thinks. He is truly marching to the beat of his own drum. And his method for gathering acorns? Oh man, it's something else. It really shows you what's going on in his head. While everyone else is obsessively hoarding for the winter, Bert's process is almost like performance art. It's so inefficient you almost have to wonder if it's intentional. It's not just different, it's a total rejection of their whole survival plan. But, this isn't just about some quirky squirrel's habits. Winter is coming. And winter is the ultimate test. Bert's unconventional way of life is about to slam right into a very harsh reality. And then, it happens. The story takes a huge turn. We're not talking about a light dusting of snow here. This is a relentless storm. It blankets the entire garden. And just like that, the rules of the game change for absolutely everyone. And you can just see how things spiral, right? The community's plan, the one thing they all worked on together, it's starting to fall apart. All those carefully collected stockpiles, they're just no match for this winter. Their whole system is failing. And this just shows you how bad things got. The squirrels who planned everything so perfectly are now forced out into the brutal cold, eating twigs. It's a really powerful reminder that even the best-laid plans of a group can completely fall apart.
Okay, so here we are at a tipping point. The whole system, the one that everyone believed in, and the one that Bert completely ignored, is collapsing under the weight of the snow.
So, in the middle of all this chaos and desperation, it makes you wonder, right? What about the one squirrel who seemed to have no plan whatsoever? What happened to Bert?
The answer is, well, it's simple and it's chilling. He was gone. Just vanished. While every other squirrel was out there fighting for scraps, Bert was simply nowhere to be found.
They checked all the usual places, his burrow, the trees, the snowy ground where everyone else was scavenging. But there was nothing, no trace, a complete and total disappearance.
And this is where the whole thing shifts. It stops being a story about survival and it turns into, well, a genuine mystery. What actually happened to Bert becomes this riddle with no easy answer. But this next part might just be the most telling, and maybe the most heartbreaking detail of the whole story. In the middle of their own crisis, not a single squirrel went out to look for him. His absence was noted, sure, but nobody seemed to care. And the reason why? It's brutal in its simplicity. It was because he was different. The very thing that defined his entire life is also what led to him being abandoned. It's like he was never truly part of their community, so when things got tough, he was just left behind. And so that leaves us here,
with this one big, unsettling question. Was Bert's individualism a fatal flaw that led to his doom? Or was it some kind of radical survival strategy we can't even comprehend? Did he find another way to make it through, a way that the others, stuck in their groupthink, never even considered? The story doesn't give us any answers. It just leaves us with the question, what is the price or the reward for being different?